What was the origin for this story?
A few different places. As a first feature, I think that some parts of it were sort of inherent in some of my interest. I'm an avid backpacker, for one, so I think I always was going to end up telling a story in the outdoors. On the social issue, on the sexual abuse part, it's been a topic that I've been sort of tracking and interested in and known people who've had experiences for a really long time. So it's something that just became more and more important to me to tackle, and I felt like it was also a subject that had not been maybe addressed in the way that I wanted to address it on screen. And so that was one stream, and then another stream was the backpacking interest. I took a trip to Denali in 2003 with my wife. We went to some of the exact same places, got on that bus, went backpacking for about 8 days and traveled across Alaska, and I just saw it as this amazing frontier landscape inside the United States. And so the confluence of all those sort of ideas and this idea of someone going on an adventure journey, whether they're compelled to do so or by choice, was something I think I just inside of me wanted to tell that.
Very cool.
Sort of worked
very
out.
cool. How many people did you have on the bus in Alaska? How many people were behind the camera? We saw the two in front.
We worked with a pretty small crew because we essentially did the journey that you saw. We traveled around in a big caravan shooting as we went, and so we had probably about 25 crew members. Yeah, and sometimes in the cities, like in Anchorage or Juneau, we had maybe 35 or 40 people. But our little traveling company was about 25 or 30 crew, and our handful of cast.
What'd you shoot on?
35 mil.
I thought I recognized that. Where did you find your cast? And how did that process come about? Because they're fantastic.
The cast came together steadily as we developed the film. Obviously, we always knew that finding a really terrific young actress to play the lead role was going to be key. And Frank, with myself and my producing partner Julie and our other producing partner Joe, searched extensively for Ella, working with really great casting directors who you saw in the film, and also great covering agents at the major talent agencies. We had a lot of support for this movie from trying to help us to find someone to take on this really great opportunity. And Ella came up through the film Never Let Me Go, which was where she played the young Keira Knightley. And I think it was, Frank saw that film. I think I might have been with you at that time. We were here in LA.
Yeah.
And then we spoke to her reps at TCA, and it really took off from there. She was maybe 14 at the time that we met her, and she was a remarkably self-assured, confident young woman, as well as being very talented. And she responded to the material, even the really tough stuff, and started reading widely about it, and kept in touch with Frank. And she was the right person from the get-go.
Yeah, I think everybody here's going to get that feeling of, wait, I saw that big star in that movie that Dances with Films.
Right. Yeah, I hope so. Ella, it was funny because we were on a casting trip out here, and we had met the agencies, and Stephanie had arranged for us to meet and see a lot of young girls and different agents and so forth. And we had a day where we really had struck out. We'd seen a lot of very talented young women who had been in like Disney and Nickelodeon and so forth. Lots of different talents, but not the right person that I felt could do the gravitas that I wanted to see in Wildlike. And when we went back to the hotel room, I turned on Never Let Me Go just by chance. I was meaning to watch it, and there was Ella, and it was definitely one of those aha moments. And that was quite a while. That was like a year and a half before we went to production.
Yeah, it's good find.
Yeah,
well done. Do I have any questions out here? And it's hard for me to see in the back. So, good. Up front and then in the back.
Cost of the production and the challenges.
You don't have to answer the cost of
Don't worry.
production.
Yeah, we don't. We're just
what
working
happens
on
is
it.
distributors start to go, oh, I only made it for that much. Nobody ever asked the cost.
It's less
of
than
how
you
much they
think.
spent on this
I
movie.
always ask, but I understand.
Yeah, it's less than you think. And then the biggest challenge on the production, Schuyler can answer differently. For me, as a director, internally, it was the creative challenge was hardest. Having a script, having a certain amount of time, and then each day going out and watching most of that script come onto the camera, I think in a way that I want, but I'm not entirely sure, and then some of it doesn't get onto the camera, and then you go and do that again, and after you do that for 3, 4, or 5 weeks, it really wears you down. and it makes you really nervous about what you've got in the can. I found that to be incredibly challenging, to show up each day and continue to judge what I saw on screen, with the help of the producers and everyone around me, and just try to go through the day to day and pick what was important and try to stay smart and continue to second guess my decisions and making sure I was making the right choices. That was by far the hardest part for me.
And a shout out to your DP.
Great.
Who's watching it on the big screen. And also, do you have anybody here you want to give a shout out to?
And we do. We've got some.
Bring down?
I don't know. Well, we're not sure who's exactly here, but we've got a couple of cast members. One of Tommy's friends, Bradford Jackson's here, and his wife Erin, who also had a part at the diner. So, yeah, and Elias Christeas actually had a part, but he's on the cutting room floor. But he's here in person today, which is even better.
But I'm sorry, and I interrupted you talking about your DP, who did such a great job, watching it on the big screen. It's like there's something about a director of photography that knows how big this thing is.
Yeah, and shooting on 35 mil is a challenge, especially for younger film professionals who don't necessarily have a long grounding in it. Shooting handheld is very hard and grueling day after day, and shooting in the wilderness without a lot of physical support is very hard.
Like 100-pound females.
And Hillary did all three every day, all day for a month in Alaska. So I don't think there's no one else I know who could have shot this movie.
Cool. I had a question in the back and then over here. Was there a question up there? We'll take you then.
So can you talk a little bit as a director how you made the scenes where there's a lot of non-verbal communication? There's just a lot of looks being exchanged back and forth between the two leads. Can you talk about how you communicated that idea to your actors?
The question is about non-verbal scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of quiet in the movie, and a lot of things go unspoken, and that's part of, I guess it's part of my style, or what maybe become my style. I was just, a lot of reference films that I watched, I think had a quiet sort of silence to them, and I feel like as a director that time without speaking builds tension subconsciously. So the movie to me has like a quiet tension, and those moments that you can drag them out a little bit longer, and maybe just a little longer than that, it tends to start to create this sort of nervous feeling, I think, for the actors and the audience, and it's a wonderful thing. I didn't spend a lot of time communicating that to them, but I think they knew it going forward because, I sent a list of reference film and I said, this is sort of what I want to do here, and I think it was in the script. The silences, were written in. There was a pause, or there's a beat, or, there's something in the action line that says specifically that the time goes by, or they just don't answer. So it was definitely in there, and then I had made a short film that has similar pauses and quiet to it. So I think, and we also chose actors that had done work that was kind of similar. So I think we all were on the same page as we, picked up the camera and started to film it.
Thank you.
Who else? Yes.
Maybe I missed this already. This is your first full length?
Yeah, this is my first narrative feature.
Yeah, it's a terrific film, absolutely terrific film. Had you planned to do something in Alaska all along? Was this something that you've been wanting to do and shoot in Alaska for a long time?
Well, as I said, I think I definitely wanted to do something outdoors.
Yeah.
And I tend to sort of reach for, extremes, and I knew in concocting my first feature, I wanted it to have as much bang for its buck as it could.
Yeah.
So when I started thinking about shooting in the outdoors and having been to Alaska, it just popped into my mind as this is the ultimate location, that I have not seen a lot in feature films in this way. So it was just sort of, reaching as far as I could to bring something wonderful to the production.
What you did is terrific.
Thanks.
Yes.
I have one question, but I want to this.
And we can talk later.
Was it a stunt there?
The stunt bear.
You're on this one.
No, that's a real live bear, and it's not a tame or trained bear. It's a wild bear that lives in a nature conservancy. So the bear is essentially a rescue bear, and he lives in a very large enclosure, so Jurassic Park style, and Jurassic World, and we befriended the the owners of this nature conservatory, and they allowed us to shoot in there with the bear, and they brought the cast in, and Frank and Hillary the DP, into the bear enclosure in a bucket of like a trencher backhoe, front loader. And
Is that the way they bring in his food?
Yeah.
also, yes, yes, which might have sent mixed messages to the bear. His name is Joe Boxer. You can see it in the credits.
It's his second credit. He was in Into the Wild.
Yeah, and so the handler was standing just off camera with a pitchfork, which was his bear wrangling tool of choice, and they would throw food to JB to entice him to come out, throwing fish and hot dogs out of a bucket, and JB would come out and perform, and if he got too close, the pitchfork came out, and then he'd back off, and then the fish would come out, and they managed the bear, and there is one outtake where JB decided he wanted more than just fish and hot dogs, but it all, everybody lived to shoot another day.
Yeah. No, that's a great story. That's a great story. Another question. Okay, I think we need to wrap this up. I'm getting the signal because we have another house to get in.
We'll hang around.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add? One last thing?
Yeah, join us online, wildlikefilm.com, and we'll tell you about when we come out. Yes.
Sorry, one more. How long was the shoot?
5 weeks, 31 days over 5 weeks.
Cool. And then you guys will be in the lobby for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll hang out.
Thank you all for coming. We have more films going through next weekend. We also have the alumni store. Come buy some films that have been in here before.